Man, we back. We back. Nah, we did. Got to talk about Nolan Wells. TMZ is under fire, man, from the Nolan Wells cover. I just don't know what people expected. You know what I mean? Certain outlets show you can't expect nothing but to be who they are, man. You feel me? I told you a lot of these outlets, their sole purpose is to sway public opinion to whatever way they want public opinion to be. And we know when it comes down to this Nolan Wells case, they want the black community to forget about it. They want us to rule it as a no more further investigation needed. You understand? That's what they want. But I already told y'all how it's going in, which is going to be crazy because it's going to stay. They started off as accidentally drowning, and that's how it's going to end like that. It's going to end with accidentally drowning. They already painting the picture that he was highly intoxicated. He was highly intoxicated. He fell, maybe hit his head, drowned. That's how they gonna end it, man. Even after everything we heard in them audios, all the lies was being told, they gonna end it that way. And the most that these kids gonna face is maybe let me see, what kind of charge can you get? Hold on. Move, man. Move. Let's see. In Mississippi, if you don't report a homicide, what can they charge you with?
In Mississippi, just not reporting a homicide isn't a crime. However, if you try to hide the crime, you could face serious felony charges, according to Mississippi Code Section the 5th of January 97.
Prosecution or obstruction of justice, conspiracy, they ain't gonna hit them with that. Most they probably hit them with is obstruction of justice, man. Oh shit. If you don't report a crime in itself, they can't charge you with nothing. Negligence, yeah, probably so. Sunday best. Yeah, I seen what Judge Matt to say. We gonna check some of that shit out for real. Then we got Lord Durk, Fed still playing dirty. Fed still being disgusting in that case. Are we clear, y'all? Fed still playing dirty. They do not want to give Durk a fair shot. And the crazy thing about it, y'all, that's all we be asking for. And it's just like it's so hard. It's so much resistance when it come down to black people just being treated fairly, y'all. You feel me? Even when you go back to the Nolan Ryan situation, Nolan Wells situation, that's what makes it black and white. That's the only reason it's black and white. It's because whenever we think there's a problem with the system and we make it an issue, you got these wave of people from the other end that just got so much to say. You heard me? So much to say, y'all, as opposed to just staying out of it, because at the end of the day, it ain't even their fight. It's like, oh, these people, they come over here and they be disrespectful and say the things that they say. And it's like, yo, if y'all just mind y'all business, yo, the world would be a much better place, yo. That's all you gotta do. You know, that's what created white on white crime month on Keep It G News. Y'all remember, yo, that got created from Charlie Kirk. When we were speaking on Charlie Kirk, and we was going to, and we was speaking about his rhetoric, you had all these people coming over here saying, what did he say wrong? And da-da-da-da-da, you know, was basically re-speaking all his talking points. I'm like, what you mean? What he said? He said a lot wrong. And that's what birthed white on white crime month. Because I think some of these people act like they don't commit crimes too. You feel me? They act like they don't commit crimes too, yo. And then some of these people will say, well, why there's no beef, or why there's not this much of a pushback or a firestorm when it's black people killing black people. And it's like, yo, because black people go to jail for that shit. You feel me? When a black person get arrested by when a black person does something to another black person, in large, we go to prison for that shit. But in this country, when a black person does do something to a white person, or a white person do something to a black person, crickets. You know, the system seems to move slow, if it moves at all. But yeah, we gotta talk about that. Then we gotta talk about Cartel Bo. I think we're gonna talk about Cartel Bo first. Y'all know who Cartel Bo is? The nigga from Houston, or yeah, I think he's from Houston, be running all them fake plays with his girlfriend. This nigga. I'm about sick of y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know, yo, I don't be wishing jail on nobody for real. At the end of the day, yo. But sometimes, in these rare situations, like a nigga like Cartel Bo, I think so. And a nigga like Cartel Bo, it's like, yo, maybe you need to sit down a little bit. You know, just to get your mind right. Because the games you keep playing with this motherfucking girl was crazy. Like, yo, ain't nobody got time to be playing penitentiary games. You feel me? Him and this girl been online playing penitentiary games for years. Fuck is he eating? Hey! Leave that alone, y'all. Leave that alone. Man, what it is, Core? Man, I can't complain, man. You know, we ready to have a little bit of fun with Cartel Bo, dumbass. Stupid ass nigga. Like, I was always told, yo, once the police get involved, your relationship is over. Like, I don't know what happened, or what the fuck these other niggas got going on. Yo, but especially if you're a nigga that been in jail and you know, you ain't got time to be playing no police games with no motherfucking female. Man, fuck that. Ain't nobody with all that, yo, because they'll no bail you quick. And it's like in this time in particular, he in a tight situation. And if fuck rounds be a play. But it looked like the system about tired of their plays, man. Yo, these are people that do anything to create a narrative, anything to get on the blogs. We just watched the whole fake video a couple weeks ago where she supposed to try to take the baby back, and the Uber driver jumped out. He supposed to beat the Uber driver up and took the baby. I'm sitting back looking at this nigga like, yo, is it that serious, my nigga? It's really that serious to you, yo, to make these vlogs, yo? You can have that shit. You know, because it's a thin line, yo, between fake and real. You understand what I'm saying? Them fake situations that put you in a real predicament. If you play them enough. And I think that's what the fuck happened to him. I don't even know where you even find a girl that's even participate in no shit like that. Like, I couldn't deal with nothing like that, yo. Like, I fuck that. I know, you want to ride or die, yo, but we ain't riding and dying like that. What's up, Mr. Cater? Hey, we ain't riding and dying like that, yo. Like, I would expect if I was ever be goofy enough to come to my girl or a chick I'm dealing with and be like, man, look, yo, let's run this fake play on social media. See, what we gonna do is, you understand, and just run a whole false campaign, a whole false narrative. Like, yeah, we gonna get in a huge fight. I'm gonna call you all type of bitches. You gonna do this, you gonna do that, and we gonna go viral. I'm hoping that whatever girl this is has enough, even if my mind is lost and I'm stuck in the matrix, she got enough common sense or brain power to be like, yo, that shit sound dumb as shit. I'm not participating in that. What the fuck, I look like a goofball? That's what them niggas be looking like, yo. I think he tried to be like Christian the blue face. Hold up. Now look, y'all. Before we get to, what happened to him and the situation he found himself in, I gotta get y'all. We gotta go back a little bit, yo, so y'all can get a understanding of why this shit is so fucking hilarious to me. You feel me? Yeah, I know, Corey. I fuck that, yo. You might need to test a female. That might can be like a loyalty test nowadays. You hear me? Hey, you first meet a chick, yo, see if she participate in the play with you. If she participate in the play with you, cut off. She ain't the one. Straight up. If you if you go to her and be like, look, shorty, look, this is what we gonna do. You know, we gonna fight over the baby. You feel me? We gonna fight over the baby, and we gonna have it set up like it's just recording. Like it's just a surveillance in the house, and we're gonna release that shit to social media and see what it do. If she participate, yeah, she ain't the one. Straight up, she on some bullshit. Stay the fuck away from her. She don't got your best interest at heart. She in it for the wrong reasons. So let me show y'all who these people is, y'all, before. We put the cart before the horse. Because this just happened, like, yeah, we gonna talk about that, Al. We gonna talk about Smirky, yo. Probably talk about Durk last. Cause we gonna go to Nolan Wells after this. What the fuck, yo? And Nico, get out here, y'all. Why can't I remember my motherfucking password? try this again, man. Alright, we in there. Yeah, we gonna get on. North Memphis, where you been at, man? Yeah, we gotta talk about TMZ. And it's fucked up, yo, because TMZ started as like, well, I guess it was always entertainment, but I think people looked at TMZ like they was on our side to a certain extent for whatever reason. I think people know now that, no, hell no. TMZ ain't no friend of the people. Not our people. Anyway. Alright, so y'all remember this video? Let me show you the video I'm talking about with Cartel Bo, the fake kidnapping. Yo, what the fuck? Move, Chloe. Matter of fact, just listen to him. Listen to him talk about
One
this
would
girl.
think a global pop
This
sensation,
how-
Zara Larson doesn't have to think about money.
This is how he talks about this girl.
You did what?
But yet, you keep fucking with her. Like, you got to be a dumbass. The Cartel Bo says Trisilda is untrustworthy and evil. But you keep finding yourself in situations with this girl. Like, he supposed to been found an intermediary to be the go-between. You know, being as though she supposed to be this bad. But I don't think that's what it is. I think both of them uses this to get on these blogs, to get these interviews. But like I said, it's a thin line between real and fake. You understand what I'm saying? And they participate in so much fake shit that now it may be real. And there may be some real consequences behind it. And then you got this whole history, because the police got access to these YouTube videos. We know that by now. You got this whole history that says that, you know, this could possibly be true. And wait till y'all hear the details of what he supposed to did. Or what alleged to have happened. And we're going to get on Buck.
Real life street star.
Yo, why every time I get up, you come running? Go.
Based on, they think they worth is based on what in they DM shooting they shot. Right. That's their validation on who they think, what kind of level. I got such my DMs. He's copied and pasted that message to 600-700 people. Cause I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I said, you hoes is not expensive. I'll copy the same message and paste. What the hell is that? Paste. We gonna see which one of these fish bite. We gonna pull one of these fish out the water. And they all these hoes, yeah, he was in my DM. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Show her the message. And she probably got the message too. Yeah, worse than a Hollywood high side hoe that thinks she is the shit.
Now, when does Bo decide a woman deserves to be treated special?
Oh man, when you're showing with your actions, when you're not like, I was with a bitch and off the back, she was like, "You want my Instagram?" I knew that was a real hoe. I know not a hoe, but a real woman. I knew it because I don't give a what you say. The entire purpose of Instagram is for attention. The 100% entire purpose of the creation of Instagram is for attention. I don't want no bitch that's seeking attention. Because the second that give you more attention than I do, you gone. I don't need no hoe that's with me for money, because the second any nigga wave a dollar in your face, you go in that direction. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't nothing special. You ain't doing nothing for me that you ain't did for nobody else. I am not the first dick you sucked, and I won't be the last. I know this though. When I'm in the years, I'm Mr. 14 strong. But when I'm in there,
I think the nigga might be retarded though. I mean, he might be a little slow. And the crazy thing about it is, people be like looking at him like a real guy, like yo, yeah, Cartel Bo, real nigga. Cartel Bo is a fucking clown, man. He's a fucking clown. That's what I call guys like him. Shit, that's what I call anybody that participate in the play. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm understanding that whole babies come out there and pussy stretch this big. You're not doing nothing to that woman, brother. That whole babies come out that pussy, brother. So your dick about this big, and if you're lucky about that long, man, that pussy get the egg. You remember, whole babies come out this motherfucker. You're not doing nothing to that woman. I don't care how much oh, daddy. Oh, that's the show. That's the show, homie. That's the show, homie. You're not doing nothing to that pussy, homie. Babies come out there. I've seen niggas in porn put their whole arm in the pussy. You know what I'm saying? It's a facade. It's the trick. It's the, you know what I'm saying? It's the trick. You feel me? That's why you gotta understand and know your power.
But what do you say about one of the homies that's tender? Like, what do you say to a nigga that's tender?
I mean, most of the time, nigga be like that because I don't be thinking they be tender, dick.
Nigga, he tender. What the fuck? Hey, that's a wild ass question to ask a nigga that's tender his goddamn self. If Reacher don't call what he doing is tender, then I don't think you know the definition of that shit. He done went through hell and high water with this girl, and still with her. Fuck what's going on? You know they they present this image on the internet like they're at war with each other, but they really sleep in the same bed every night.
I be thinking niggas go through so much.
A whole bunch of nothing.
Shit. Like, nigga, I done went through all this shit with this hoe. You think you just feeling? That's what that be. And bitch, that's what that be. You know what I'm saying? What that nigga Corey Hope said, he said, the government make it hard for you to discipline you on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell? Nah, for real though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand, bro, like, these women are gonna do what they want to do. They not like the women that we grew up with. Like back then when we was coming up, and I'm talking about any adult, and I with you, so it don't matter. Yeah. Whenever you can just intentionally do bad to a person.
There you go.
No, I don't got time for negative bad energy. Whenever, and it ain't just a BM, it's people, period. Yeah. Whenever you can just intentionally do bad to a person because you're emotionally mad, like anybody, like it can be anybody, not just BM. If I see you do some hoe ass or say something about somebody that's not true, or Kyle do rumors, or you doing things to defame their character, I'm not gonna with you because as soon as I make you mad, you're gonna do the same thing to me. You're gonna try to hurt me and destroy me and do this to me. So I'm gonna just stay to my fucking self.
Then how the fuck you get? If you know that, how you caught in that situation, man? How you keep getting caught in this situation? Hold on. Oh shit! I fucked
It's
it
so
up.
easy to become a podcaster with Rivers.
Cartel Bow. So this the video that was viral. Just look at all this shit, y'all.
Cartel Bo, Texas rapper, was outside. He went to just go grab some and had his kids in the car and they tried to kidnap his children.
Like you got a whole. Just look at this shit. It's always something.
I need my stuff. I don't care about the police. I've already contacted them and I reported the baby. So you need to bring it up.
She looked dirty, to be honest. They probably both dirty, being that bitch stinking this shit.
Outside. Your call has been.
Yeah, I already called the police. That strike. That's supposed to been a strike against her right there. Nope, he don't give a fuck. That nigga like that shit. Some of these niggas like that shit. They keep getting locked up. Fuck around with this girl. So this the video. This video went viral that I believe is fake. I don't think there's nothing real about it.
They asking me to come in, sit down, and give them a deep.
Look.
I know a lot of
all of this so you can come online and say this. Listen to this nigga, man. This is how you know when things are fake. For one, you uploaded it on YouTube or on Instagram. Now is your response to your upload. Like, yo, these people are creating storylines for themselves. But like I said, eventually it's gonna run out. Cause just like we watching, they watching too. And everybody got time to keep playing games with y'all motherfuckers, man.
I know
So
a lot of
here,
y'all
what it
waiting
do?
on me to make a statement. I just got a call from the district attorney's office, man. They asking me to come in, sit down, and give them a detailed statement of everything that happened. I hung up the phone and called my people. I told them I'm not going down there making no statements and shit like that. My family say if you don't go down there and make some statements to make sure your children safe, they ain't with me no more.
Now y'all know me. Nigga, go make the statement, nigga. You released the video. The fuck, you already made a statement. This is like, yo, I be tripping off these type of guys, man. Make the, if he'd have made the statement, he might wouldn't have been in this situation today, man. Stupid ass nigga. Why people say they ain't gonna fuck with me no more. Like, all of this is a fucking lie, man. She fuck around with you, yo. You gotta see her. I'm gonna show it to you. Look like she stank.
But if I go down there and make a statement, I'm a rat.
Be sure to like, comment,
I think you already
and
a rat.
subscribe.
The reason they need me to make a statement is because they had to look into the paperwork as far as custody concerns to see if she categorized for, and then due to the fact that she lost custody and I have full custody, it's oh fool, I don't know what to do for real, bro. They both went for assault. It's attempted of a child. It'll be burglary.
I think it's jewelry fake too. Yo, ladies, you gotta beware of fake jewelry, y'all. I don't think a lot of women understand like what do a man wearing fake jewelry really means. You know, a lot of women don't. You know, cause women wear like costume jewelry and fake jewelry and shit like that, and it's acceptable. But yo, it's different when guys do it. A lot of times, if you're dealing with a guy that wears fake jewelry, you're dealing with a fake person. Do women understand that? I don't think they do. Cause I be saying, you know, I be out and I be saying niggas and females with niggas with the fakest jewelry in the world. Niggas, big ass rope chains, and I be like, damn, that motherfucker probably cost $200. You hear me? And they got the rapper chain on. Probably paid $250 for it. But it look good, you know, to the untrained eye. And they be having chicks with them, and they be like, dang, yo, she don't even know that shit fake. Or maybe she do. Yo, fake jewelry in men equates to a fake person. Because why do men even wear jewelry? You know, women most of the times wear things like that because they like it. Men is trying to impress women. So off the rip right there, you leading off, you giving a false representation of who you are. That's the first red flag. You feel me? He faking. Because if you're a real stand-up guy, right? If you're a man of any moral principles or integrity, if I can't afford it, if I can't afford the real shit, I don't want it. And is you going to accept me for who I am? So off the rip, by a man wearing fake jewelry, he's presenting himself to you as a misrepresentation of who he really is. And then these same women that end up with these guys and nigga be cheating on her, beating on her, doing everything under the sun. And they be like, damn, what the fuck? I never seen this coming. Like, what the fuck you mean? The nigga be everything on the nigga fake. You know what I mean? Fake rings, fake watches, fake chain. Fake representation of himself. And you fell for it, man. You gotta take accountability, man.
I think they said burglary
Man, what
of
it
a motor
is?
vehicle, but I know it's burglary because she opened my door, and that's what they said.
Yeah, don't complain about them, man.
I know trespassing.
You know, if they love fraudulent dudes, don't complain about them. Deal with it. Yeah, man, I don't want to hear none of that shit when you knew that, when that man, you know, because people don't understand how something just small as that can go a long way. You feel me? Like I be telling y'all, most snitches lie as well. You feel me? But people never correlate the two. People never connect the dots. So a nigga be hanging around a lying ass nigga and just accepting it because, you know, that's just who he is. But then that same lying ass nigga tell on you, and now you shocked. Like, yo, how you didn't see this coming? The nigga been lying since y'all his kids. It's just a matter of time before he got put in a position where he was gonna tell on you. Like, yo, I don't give. Like, I used to get passes when I was younger to, like, my homeboys and shit like that. Like, you know, that's just how he is, you know. But no, not no more, yo. Not when you know that. Them small little details, something minor like that. Something minor of a nigga just lying. I mean, his lies don't even gotta affect you. It's he's just a lying ass nigga. Something small like that can lead to this nigga telling on you about a body. You feel me? He get caught with a pistol, now he telling on you about some shit you did 30 years ago. Yeah. I'm just saying, don't be surprised, don't be shocked, you know.
Trying to get all the cases they want, and they need me to make a detailed description of everything that happened in order to put the video footage and line it up with the case they want to come at the people with. And I'm lost, gang. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, just truth be told, the only reasons they even got their footage is because they was lying, saying I punched her in the stomach and all that type of shit. So I had to show them the footage to show I never put my hands on her, and that's what got her and him booked. Police say he's an Uber driver. They don't understand the deepness and details of their relationship. I don't really give. I just don't know what to do. Do I go down here and give these people a statement? Or do I sit here and just, you know, have some family members cut me off because I didn't want to go down here and what they quote unquote say do what's best for my child or my children? I'm just at loss, man. Shit a lot, bro. I can't do no rat shit, though. I don't understand why they need me and they got the video footage anyway. I'm just lost right now, bro.
Look, y'all. All they do is take
Thanks for tuning in.
little situations that they create for themselves and then go on the motherfucking interview run. I don't like it. I don't even respect it. But here she go. Look, y'all told she dirty looking.
Posted a video and the captioned it saying that
Like, she look dirty.
saved his children from kidnappers. Who's a kidnapper? So if y'all gonna post stories and repost stories, make sure that y'all have the valid one first and the real one. So
right.
How am I kidnapping my son that ran off with earlier?
That's how you can tell it ain't real. That's how you can tell it was fake. You just try to push a narrative, you know, snitching and not snitching is a huge topic online.
That day when he was around me. So Father's Day, he cut the hell up. And by the way, the other person was an Uber driver. What the fuck does he have to do with any of this? Nothing. Anyways, though, so earlier that day, we established that after he cut the fuck up on Father's Day, he kept blowing me up to come out to the club with him from fake numbers. And I was like, I'm not coming. Leaving me voice.
Mind you, y'all, this the same guy to be online calling all type of bitches and hoes and like, well, this is dirty work, man. For real, like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. The way that these two talk about each other online continuously, they should never, ever, ever, if it was real, should never be in the same vicinity. Nowhere close. Like I said, if it was real, they would have an intermediary whenever they dealing with any type of custody dispute. But and if it was real and he really had a problem with Shorty, and what he said about her, he truly believed, he'd have never found himself in this type of situation.
Derrick Rose, the hometown kid from Chicago. The are sizing him up. He'll take it in, the bump, the lead.
Houston rapper charged with kidnapping girlfriend.
Houston rapper known as NFL Cartel Bo is facing new felony charges for allegedly kidnapping his girlfriend. The rapper, whose real name is Warren Brown, was already behind bars on a misdemeanor charge for assaulting an Uber driver that police say witnessed Brown attacking his girlfriend while she was trying to pick up their child. Court documents say the kidnapping took place more than a month after that attack. Brown is due in court Friday for that assault.
All them fake situations. Now look what it got him. Would they no bond him on punching an Uber driver? These niggas, yo, this shit stupid. Hold up, it's a little bit more than that. Hold on. This stupid ass nigga. Hold up. Cartel Bo arrested.
Tonight, investigators say the man accused of holding a woman captive for days inside of a Cypress home is actually a Houston rapper.
Yeah, he is known as Cartel Bo, and it's not the first time he's made headlines in our area. KPRC 2 News reporter Bryce Newberry live in Cypress on Darby Retreat Lane with the new details in the alleged kidnapping case. Bryce.
Yeah, Keith and Steph. This woman escaped from a home here on the street in just her underwear, according to investigators. She claims to have been held captive for days by a man who we have now confirmed through court records is rapper Cartel Bo, and he's the same guy who went to federal prison nearly a decade ago after filming a viral rap video promoting gangs in Houston.
Look, the nigga is fucking stupid. Hey, he went the nigga went to the feds for being dumb. I'm sorry, y'all. At this, like, y'all know, I'd be the first to like come to the defense of juveniles. You know, basically from ages like 23 and under. You know, for some of the things that they do and some of the situations that they find themselves in. Yo, but I don't got nothing to say when you 30 plus. Yo, once you 30 plus, yo, you supposed to already went through the nonsense. You supposed to know better, man. You should never find yourself in a stupid situation like this guy. Keep finding himself in. So you went to prison because of a rap video, bro, federal prison, and came home and dealt with this girl that keeps sending you back and forth to jail? Man, fuck him. He might need a break. He ain't learned nothing.
She claims
yeah, but this is what I mean by prison don't change people. This is why, because Durk's situation is different. This is why I say prison don't change people. You got a lot of these people like Charleston White and these other guys that get online and praise prison. Say that black men need to go to prison. No, y'all. Prison don't change people. And then another thing, that a lot of these guys that you think crazy, they just stupid. It's a difference between being crazy and being dumb. A lot of these guys just dumb, yo. And if you watch them long enough, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's one of them. He's just a dummy.
Yeah, Keith and Stephanie, this woman escaped from a home here on this street in just her underwear, according to investigators. She claims to have been held captive for days by a man who we have now confirmed through court records is rapper Cartel Bo, and he's the same guy who went to federal prison nearly a decade ago after filming a viral rap video promoting gangs in Houston. At this home on Darby Retreat Lane, a woman says the father of her children locked her in a closet for at least 4 days, only able to escape after he left and got pulled over.
This is just not something that we're used to, and it is a bit on the frightening side.
Neighbors saw cops at the house throughout the weekend.
They were here literally all day, till the evening.
As they discovered, according to court records, zip ties, a closet with a deadbolt, and fast food wrappers inside. But before Harris County Precinct 4 deputy constables came to the house Saturday evening, they pulled over Warren Brown, seen here in the back of a cop car, and better known online as rapper Cartel Bo. He'd been wanted for more than a week for allegedly assaulting the same woman in late June outside a recording studio in Northwest.
Like, yo, come on, bro. And mind you, I don't even think that shit was real. But yo, when you create this much of disturbance like he has created in Houston, they don't even give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? They watching. They see what you doing, dumbass. So they put a warrant out on him. Put a warrant out on him and just waited for him. He was right in the house. They could have easily just went and got him whenever they wanted to. They're like, yeah, we gonna get him eventually. He gonna do something else stupid. You feel me? Now he's sitting there booked on two separate cases involving the same girl. He done got booked dealing with this girl at least 5-6 times by now. Like, goddamn, bro, ain't no motherfucking cat or head that good in the motherfucking world, my nigga. Not to continuously jeopardize your freedom for it.
Deputy constables came to the house Saturday evening. They pulled over Warren Brown, seen here in the back of a cop car, and better known online as rapper Cartel Bo. He'd been wanted for more than a week for allegedly assaulting the same woman in late June outside a recording studio in Northwest Harris County. When she realized he'd been gone from the home for so long, records show she was able to escape, flagging down a neighbor for help.
Oh, so maybe that's why she be looking dirty then, y'all. Now we got the answer to why she be looking dirty like that. He and that bitch holding her captive. Fucking feed the fucking peanut chews and Snickers and shit. That's why she be looking like she ain't taking baths. All right, now it's starting to make sense.
As rapper Cartel Bo. He'd been wanted for more than a week for allegedly assaulting the same woman in late June outside a recording studio in Northwest Harris County. When she realized he'd been gone from the home for so long, records show she was able to escape, flagging down a neighbor for help.
The video went viral last May. It features Houston rappers Maxo Cream and NFL Cartel Bo.
It's not the first time he's made headlines. This rap video, released in 2018, shows Cartel waving loaded guns, many of them stolen according to prosecutors, in a city park next to an elementary school. He served federal prison time in that case for unlawfully having a weapon as a felon. He also has previous...
Yo, come on, bro. Come on, my nigga. You are a felon, yo. You uploaded a YouTube video carrying guns, bro. Yeah, he need a break. That boy need a break, y'all. Hey, man, everybody, y'all, I wish the best for Shorty, man. He need to figure life out. Because this ain't it. I ain't gonna lie. You can't keep going this route, my nigga.
State convictions, now back in jail and facing up to life in prison.
Life in prison.
An attorney representing Brown described the allegations to me as, quote, not the prettiest, but says hopefully his client will come away from this, in his words, quote, unscathed. He is scheduled to appear.
Now look, what he's banking on, right, is her not participating in the investigation. Yo, but once you become this much of disturbance, dang, she ain't gotta participate. They will move forward without her. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I don't even know where niggas be finding girls this dumb. Like, I'm not interested in dealing with a dummy. You understand? I'm talking about dummy by, like, definition. You understand? Like literally stupid. Where do they find them? Wherever they find them, keep them there, because I don't want nothing to do with them. Like, these, the fuck? This girl, he probably can't hold a conversation with her for more than 3 minutes. It's a dumbass. Alright, well, let's get up off, man. We've been talking about him long enough. Suit the Cartel Bo, man. Hope he take time to get his mind right, man. Leave that girl alone, man. But, so TMZ has been under fire lately because of their coverage on Nolan Wild's case. Particularly surrounding the audio release of that CTO call, right? So everybody covered this call that these kids made to the towing company. And I think people was looking for TMZ to cover it, you know, like how it would deserve to be covered. But that's not what they did. They created a situation where they doubted everything. They doubted the background noise. Matter of fact, they didn't even release the first couple seconds of the audio. You understand? They didn't cut out the elevator music. But then the parts that they did play, it created they wanted people to doubt what we actually heard. So a couple days ago, I seen this video.
Talking about him and talking about.
So the title is While Nolan Wells' friends talking about him possibly being dead as they race back to the mainland. Chilling background audio from their emergency call has some people convinced they were. So listen to how they covered it.
About him possibly being dead while they were on their way back to the mainland from Horn Island. This is all because of some audio that we got from officials down in Mississippi. This audio is a call that's being made from the boat that Nolan's friends were on. So after they're on Horn Island on July 4th, at the end of the day, about 4:30, they decide they're heading back to the mainland. And the owner of that boat, or the grandson of the owner, who's driving the boat, realizes that they are taking on water.
And look,
the bilge pump isn't working.
They use a black man to do it. Y'all, I can never fill this role on no platform. I don't want this job. I don't want to be the black man to quell or quiet black people when black people are angry or upset. I don't want that role. I don't want that job. Keep that shit. Yeah, man. Like if you notice that they do that with a lot of people, they're real strategic with it. Whenever it's a black issue, an issue involving black people and black community is upset, they give you one of these guys.
Working, so he places a call to a tow company called Tow. And while he's on that call, there is a lot of commotion going on. And what people think is that in the background of that call, you can hear someone say, "Is he dead? Nolan. Oh my God." It's really hard to make out. This is what it sounds like.
Look, why you ain't take that audio? By this point, the audio was released. You know, people already broke it down and took the background noise out. They played it with the background noise. Of course you can't hear nothing, my nigga. That was the whole point of the background noise.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
Yeah, this digital content.
Oh, look at God. No, we do not need that.
Now, there are other parts of the audio where people think they hear the words "check his chest" or "wake up." One thing you can definitely hear clearly is the guy who's calling the tow company says, "Shut the bleep up." Now, he could have been yelling to some people. He does tell the dispatcher that there are about 7 people on board, all of them under the age of 20, under 21, he says. Now, here's what doesn't make sense.
What tell us, bro?
If they really were, and again, that audio is very difficult to make out. I mean, you can definitely hear, "Oh my God." The Nolan and Izzy dead part is up to interpretation. What doesn't make sense is why would they, if they had something, if there had been foul play and something happened to Nolan or someone did something to Nolan on that boat, why would they be talking about it loudly while he's on the phone to a tow company?
Look,
were Nolan Wells' friends talk?
Look, he tried to make it seem like that. Yo, we deal with kids, bro. The fuck is you talking about? And how do you break down that audio without mentioning how many times he muted the conversation? How many times did that kid press mute? Because it's obvious he's pressing mute. Every time he gets quiet and come back and say hello, what you do when you mute somebody? Ain't that what you normally do? When you having a conversation and you want to mute because there's some shit going on in the background, don't you normally come back with hello? The kid did that shit about at least 3 times in that conversation. So how do you cover this audio without even mentioning that? How do you cover this audio without even playing the whole audio? You played 30 seconds of the audio that had the background noise in it. I mean, not the background noise, but the elevator noise in it. And then only highlighted one part. Like, come on, TMZ. A lot of people was upset with this. And I thought I was the only one. So you see me in the comments 2 days ago. That's why they called the Coast Guard. That's why they turned down the Coast Guard. So I didn't know that this was like a topic, you know. But there's been other people speaking on this. And yeah, a lot of people will take an issue with how they covered this shit. Man, what the fuck? I ain't got it. Fuck is that lady name?
The case of Nolan Wells.
So look at this. Let's listen to this one.
Incredibly disturbing. We now have new video that shows he was not on the boat after leaving Horn Island. So it appears to be 7.
Yo, they trying hard to push this narrative. Yo, they telling me they got evidence that he wasn't on the boat. Witness statements that he got left behind. Yo, we don't believe none of that shit, man. We don't believe, just because somebody said it, that don't mean it's true. We heard what we heard, man. Let's deal with that.
People in Nolan is not visible, and it does back up what the witnesses say. They said that he was still on Horn Island at the time of his death.
It's like, if he's not on the boat, and they said he wasn't on the boat, why would you leave without your friend?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like, and in the video you can see somebody on the phone, and there was an emergency call that, was later released. But it is kind of like, okay, so nobody cared about where he was?
This case is so confusing, and I wish that someone, if they know something, would just say something.
His family deserves justice. His mom deserves some answers. Like, somebody has to know something.
Just incredibly strange.
I want you to tune in every day White on White Crime Month, Sky. I got some videos for you. I can give you a preview of what we covering White on White Crime Month, if you're interested.
To me, all of these people were there. All of these boats were out there. It was daytime. We had preliminary hearing.
We learned a lot of evidence how exactly investigators kind of broke down the timeline of when they're alleging David Anthony Burke, Senior David, committed the murder of Celeste Rivas Fernandez. We saw the autopsy, the medical exam.
Where the fuck is that page at? Hold on. Let me find something real quick.
So I uploaded the audio from the boat distress call to my editing app.
Not that. What's that girl page? She be on fucking CNN, man. It's really not confusing, yo. I think it's too early to say he drowned, yo. I think it's too early to say that he drowned. I really do.
Here with another update in the Nolan Wells case. A friend of Nolan Wells is lawyering up amid a wave of online speculation, denying a viral photo showing him with a woman some social media users are attempting to link to Nolan's death. Attorney Russell Latino says the old high school photo does show Bart Edmondson Jr. with a young woman, but insists she is not Katie McCormick, a woman some online have attempted to romantically link to both Bart and Nolan Wells. Russell Latino says Bart never dated Katie and didn't even know who she was before Nolan's death. The attorney also flatly denies the claim that Bart Nolan or contributed to his death in any way. The attorney continues on to say Bart helped a boat in distress and has fully cooperated with investigators, providing access to his boat, GPS, and phone. Bart now plans to sue people, spreading what the family calls wholly fabricated claims. Attorney Russell also says Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of the made-up speculation. He says the FBI, along with state and local law enforcement, have all been notified. Here with another update in the Nolan Wells case. A friend of Nolan Wells is lawyering up and admitting
I think the medical examiner needs to hand over the rest of that information. I mean, the rest of his body parts. You know, why hide the neck?
Do you know that?
The neck in his lungs. Hey, Scotty, let me show you something. Look at this, Scotty. Florida man found guilty of first-degree murder after shoving man he met earlier that day onto the docks, then dumping his unconscious body into the marina where he... He drowned too, Jonathan. If there was no video, this would be classified as a drowning too, correct? If there was no video of this incident, would this be classified as a drowning? I bet you don't. Just like we don't know if Nolan Wells drowned. I bet you don't, brother. Then where the fuck is that video at? I'll find it. So Stephen A. Smith and Nancy Grace sat down and had a conversation about Nolan Wells. And a lot of people was upset with Nancy Grace because saying like she chose a side. Now I'm not ever going like give Nancy Grace no praise because she has done a lot of damage her goddamn self. You know, especially when it came down to Carmelo Anthony case. She seems to know how to pick a side, you know.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how
to monetize. Carmo, what it do?
Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying, okay? I picked up the car a few months ago and watch this.
A reminder to the audience. Wells was the 18-year-old college football player from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, who was on a boat July 4th with a group of friends and traveled by private boat to Horn.
Then why, if she look at the truth, why are people mad about her wanting answers in Nolan Wells' death? Why are people mad at her? People is mad at her, man. I go to the comments, people telling they unsubscribing and they can't believe her. And why is that the case? She's grifting. It's a way to keep both sides. That's what she's doing. Say it's what Stephen A. Smith does. It's the way to keep both sides glued. I'm gonna pick this side on this issue. Next issue, I'm gonna pick that side. That's what the fuck she doing.
Because all day long I investigate and analyze murder and mayhem. Very often, Mr. Smith, I have people ask, why don't you smile on TV?
Yeah. You can't.
Wouldn't that be odd for me to smile in the course of reporting on a dead young man or a missing child? So, although I have great happiness in my life because of my twins.
I got you.
Boy-girl twins I had 18 years ago.
Wow. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot of reason to be happy. No question about that. Let's get right to this case involving Nolan Wells. You've been all over this case right now. Just as a reminder to the audience, Wells was the 18-year-old college football player from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, who was on a boat July 4th with a group of friends and traveled by private boat to Horn Island, an uninhabited barrier island off the Mississippi coast. Wells was the only black person, or so reported, on the boat. When the friends returned to the mainland, Nolan was the only one who did not make it back. Talk to me about this story, Nancy, and what do you make of it at this particular moment in time?
I think that it is very murky. And I do not understand, Stephen, the demands on all platforms for the investigation to be shut down. Is it possible Nolan Wells died by accident? Yes, it's possible. Is it possible that there was foul play. Yes, that is possible. And I don't believe the investigation should be shut down until we know the answer to that. I have two children.
Hey, Scotty, what you had to say about that? What you had to say about that video I just showed y'all, man? I thought you left. What you had to say about the video I just showed you? Scotty, what you think about this?
Man knocked out, then pushed in the wall.
God damn, I done fucked it up. Think about this, Scotty. Just want to get your take on this.
Man knocked out, then pushed in the wall.
And I think that was ruthless. But we're going to get more into that in White on White Crime Month. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that.
Children, both the age of Nolan Wells. I would be lying on the courthouse steps screaming for justice if the investigation into a death related to them was shut down before I had answers. So I don't understand where all the hate is coming from.
Who specifically is calling for the shutdown of the investigation? Just to educate my audience.
Well, go online. There's any number of people, thousands of people that think that, quote, this was an accidental drowning. Why are you doing this? You're a race baiter. You're fill in the blank. This has nothing to do with what color his skin was. This has to do with an unanswered question during...
It really don't, y'all. Like, it really doesn't have anything to do with it. Other than the system treats black people differently when they're victims or potential victims of crimes done by anybody outside of black people. And race comes into play when you got Scotty and others, whatever guy, and Jonathan, who is just willing to say, well, just take whatever they say as word and move on. No, y'all, we're not doing that, man. We ain't doing that. That's the only reason race get into play.
My prosecutorial career, I very often was the only white person in the courtroom. That has nothing to do with Lady Justice. What Lady Justice demands is a full and fair investigation. And I'm also not saying that's not going on, because my boss, Lewis Slayton, the longest serving elected district attorney at that time, I think, Stephen, it was 37 years, was like a grandfather to me. He was very strict, no one to speak to the press. It could ruin the case. I always had the same answer when asked. I believe a Fulton County jury will render a verdict that speaks the truth. Because I did believe that. We are not owed an explanation from law enforcement as to what they are doing. However, there are a lot of questions, specifically, Stephen, regarding the autopsy. The initial autopsy has remained under seal. We don't know what the answer was. The family, understandably, sent Nolan's body hundreds of miles away for a second opinion. When that doctor got the body, the lungs and the throat were missing. I understand why the lungs were missing, because this could have been a drowning case. But why the throat? What was there about Nolan's throat that piqued the interest of the original medical examiner? That leads me to speculate. Was there bruising? Was the hyoid bone fractured? Was it broken? Was it dislodged? Is there possibly bruising on the strap muscles? Is it indicative of a blow? We know on the back of the head, that's your occipital bone on the back of your head, about where your hairline would start, that there is deep red discoloration under the subcutaneous tissue. What? Is it from a blow? Is it from diffusion of the blood post-mortem? I don't know. But none of it is good. So I need answers before any investigation is going to be shut down.
Who told you
what
that,
do you
Scotty?
make of those who have said, I remember Officer Tatum, a conservative podcaster, very popular, over 3 million subscribers. He's been on the warpath, going down, talking to some of the people that were there with Nolan Wells, white individuals. He's saying that evidence is showing that they...
You should never reference him on anything. Officer Tatum is a fucking clown. He's a clown. And an unintelligent one at that.
departed. When they departed, Nolan Wells was alive, and you know what? They may have had absolutely, positively nothing to do with this. The evidence shows that. Is that your finding? That the evidence shows that the people being, with allegations being thrown in their direction, the suspicions that have been raised by these people that were in attendance with Nolan Wells, that they should be, they have been proven or found to not have been around even when he was still alive. Is your findings consistent with anything along that verbiage with what people are saying about these kids that were with him?
No, I don't know the answer to that. They say Nolan chose to stay behind because he met a girl he wanted to talk to named Katie. That girl has spoken through her sister, we are told, and she says Nolan told her, I'm going back with my friends. So who am I supposed to believe? I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is true. I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is false. I do know they called SEATOW, S-E-A, second word T-O-W, and said that their vessel was sinking. But yet they continued boating around in it for hours after.
Hours after, Scotty. Hours after, in a sinking boat. They didn't want the whatever the fuck the people is. They didn't want them to come. So the boat is sinking. You don't want the. They actually ended up canceling the SEATOW. You got a guy saying that the last time he seen Nolan was with the girl. The girl said last time she seen Nolan said he was getting back on the boat. I tend to believe her, man. I don't think she got no reason to lie. She wasn't on the boat. So, excuse me. With all these inconsistencies, how do you just end the investigation? How do you not understand why black people, for the most part, is saying, yo, something ain't right? If this was any other situation and the child wasn't black, people would be saying the same motherfucking thing, man. Man, hold up, yo, something ain't right here. The boat's sinking. You ride around with it on the same boat for hours after it was supposed to be sinking. You canceled the SEATOW. You don't want the Coast Guard coming. Then you got this audio that, to me, speaks volumes that Nolan was still on the boat, but the investigation is supposed to just be ended and rule his death for drowning. When they never released the lungs in his throat to the second autopsy. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Is there an innocent explanation? Maybe. Maybe they thought it was sinking.
Right.
They found the problem and they fixed it. Now, specters have been raised about audio suggesting Nolan had been on the boat on their return. I don't know if that was doctored. I don't know if it's real. I do know this. It
ain't doctored. Come on, that. Come on, Nax. Don't do that. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That audio has been confirmed real.
went to Horn Island with them. They came back alive. He's dead. I'm going to investigate. You're darn right I'm going to investigate. And my wish is that his friends are innocent and that this was an accident. But it will be a cold day in HELL that I endorse closing down an investigation because somebody said I had nothing to do with that. What? Am I supposed to go, oh, okay, case closed, forget about it, and go tell the mom we're shutting down the investigation?
That's what they want.
So-and-so said he had nothing to do with it.
Have you received any indication from law enforcement that that is their intent, that their desire is to close down this investigation? Have you seen any indication like that at all?
Look at how these kids are sticking together, too. You got to make sure we make note of that. So whenever it's a situation involving a black child or black kids, and they're not cooperating with law enforcement, or not being totally honest with law enforcement, or get caught in the lie with law enforcement, you got to make sure the same people that's want to be blind to what's actually going on, in this case, be blind when it comes down to them kids too.
That emboldens me because so far they haven't finalized this thing. As a matter of fact, the other day, a female journalist got a hold of law enforcement, the sheriff. He wouldn't answer any questions, which he should not have. And he stated that all questions were to be directed to the district attorney's office. I expect what they'll do is this, Stephen. I expect that they will call in a grand jury. A grand jury has two purposes. It can be a charging grand jury. I presented hundreds of cases to grand juries to get an indictment. It can also be an investigative arm. It can subpoena documents. It can call for witnesses.
Said, if you are sinking, you don't deny any help. Send everybody. You ain't lying. You ain't lying at all, bro.
Question them. It's an investigative, a fact-finding grand jury. They may do that, or they may be able to do it on their own without calling in a grand jury. But I believe that law enforcement will do the right thing. Much has been made of the fact that Crump, who is representing Nolan Well's family, turned down a request and offer to bring on scent dogs and cadaver dogs to the boat. Well, I've got to just swat that down right now. Crump, or the Wells family, doesn't have the authority to allow anybody on that boat. It's not their boat. I've also learned through the grapevine that the boat has been searched.
Look, so now they put that news out there to make the family look like, oh, y'all don't want justice for real. But like I told y'all before, I don't want y'all cadaver dogs. I can't, because at this point, I can't believe anything that's coming out of this county. So if we're going to get the boat investigated and get cadaver dogs to walk around it, then yeah, I think that we might need to go outside of y'all and, find our own people that can get the job done. My bad, y'all. Fucking eating this cooking. That shit went down the wrong tube. That shit got me choking.
I would like to get my hands on that GPS nav system. I would like to find out if cadaver dogs were brought onto the boat. I would like to get a hold of Katie and question her. And I would like to ask each one of the boys separately what happened. And I'd like to give them a polygraph. Is that so wrong? That's what I would be doing right now.
Nancy, I don't think it's wrong at all.
People pass polygraph tests all the time, yo. Polygraph test doesn't mean you aren't really a good tool to determine guilt or innocence.
Questions that you're asking, I think all of those are very important, very, very significant questions that need to be answered. What's the resistance to getting those answers? Is it law enforcement saying it's an ongoing investigation? You're not entitled to know things until we tell you to? Is it the family getting in the way? Is it the Wells family picking and choosing who they want to investigate matters, and they're interfering in their own way? What's this mess that seems to have been made of this case? Where does fault lie, if any at all, in your estimation, as to what's impeding progress in this investigation from taking hold?
Stephen, I believe a lot of people desire controversy. I think that there are people out there that want to spin it out for their own gain, be it fame, be it money, and I cannot relate to that. I'm a crime victim. I am a victim of violent crime. My fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding. It changed my life and my family's life forever. It even affects me now, how I raise my children every day. I can't lay fault at the family's feet. I can't do that. I think that hate, racial hate is being stirred. The pot is being stirred. And people are coming out. I looked at my Twitter the other day. I wish I hadn't. With the worst slurs. They're not, usually people will try to hide it. They're putting it in writing. It's just anger and hate, and it's boiled up in the form of this case. And I pray to God that we will get justice regardless, notwithstanding all the hate. I don't know where it's coming from. I can't identify with that. But I can tell you this, we're not letting go till we have an answer.
Your thoughts on the Wells family? Some people who wanted to point the finger at them, and I just found it to be wrong. I'm not looking at the family who lost their son, lost
what do
their
you
sibling.
mean? It shouldn't be no thoughts on the family. It's like, what kind of question is that? It should be no thoughts. The family ain't doing nothing wrong outside of trying to get the truth. Y'all gotta remember, y'all, these people had to track that. Yo, if they didn't have the 360 app on Nolan's phone, they probably never got the phone. They probably never got the phone. These kids wasn't taking them that phone, man. They was gonna keep that shit, act like that shit drowned with Nolan. So right then and there, questions start coming up in your head that you need to find answers for. You can't blame the family for nothing at all.
I'm not trying to look at them in any negative way, but there are people that have looked at Crump's presence. Civil rights attorney. Obviously, he's represented white clients as well as black clients in the past. The family brought him in. They brought up Al Sharpton eulogizing Nolan Wells at the funeral. They brought up these kind of things to say that, you know, the family, if not the family, those connected to the family, are stoking these thoughts that you just articulated. That's a very, very big concern to you. What are your thoughts about that when the Crumps of the world, the Al Sharptons of the world, even though he just eulogized them at the funeral, he's not necessarily involved in the legal process. Their involvement in something like this, what does that do for or against the case in your estimation based on your experience reporting on these potential crimes, allegations involving such manner?
I don't care. I care about one thing. What happened to Nolan Wells? I don't care if Al Sharpton is stirring the pot. I don't care what people say, the rocks they throw, the slings and the arrows. Don't care. That does not dissuade me from finding out what happened. Now, sometimes people seek refuge. How do I know the family didn't know who to contact? How do I know Crump or Sharpton didn't contact them? And they said, yes, help me, please. Maybe they thought an injustice was going down. I don't know why they chose Crump. I don't know why they chose Sharpton, but I can tell you this is not a Miss Congeniality contest. Nobody's going to get crowned Miss Sweet Potato at the end of this. Everyone will get hate mail, everyone is going to get threats, and everybody will be disliked. But in the end, we may find out what happened to Nolan Wells. So go ahead, sling mud, attack Sharpton, attack Crump, attack me, attack the family, attack the boys that were out there that day. For all I know, they've all passed a polygraph. I don't know that. But I do know I don't have answers, and a young man the age of my son and my daughter is dead. That's all that matters. I don't care what Crump or Sharpton scream into a microphone. Irrelevant to me. I only care about the facts.
Let me be more specific. What I'm getting to is, does the presence of individuals like that, based on your experience, assist in expediting the process to get closer to the truth? That's what I'm wondering about, specifically.
I think it does, and I'll tell you why. Whether you like Sharpton or you have to hold your nose, you don't like him, don't care. But guess what? Every TV was turned on this case because of Crump and Sharpton. You know how many cases I've investigated and nobody cares? Their names are forever lost. Nobody knows their names. Nobody cares. But because those two jumped on the bandwagon, or hitched a ride on the bandwagon, I don't know which is true, now there is focus on the Nolan Wells case. And I say, fine.
Authorities have said they suspect drowning. How do you feel about authorities coming out without the investigation being completed? I'm thinking about
but how do they suspect drowning without they haven't even released their autopsy report? And how did their autopsy report come out? Well, it ain't even come out yet. How did the second autopsy report come out before the first? At this point, we talking about a whole week and a half. They still haven't released the first autopsy report. I think that is what they're doing, Scotty. Hey, Scotty, why you always worried about that? Like, every time we had these situations and the family put up a GoFundMe, you are very focused on how much money was raised. Why is that? Why is that? Why you do that? You did it in the last case that we covered. Like, why is the money raised? Why do you view it with such as so high of importance? I don't understand that. I don't give a fuck if they made $800,000, $1 million. I think some of the money they got is going towards that. Why you keep saying the family Filipino, man? Regardless if they look black, you know, they are black Filipinos, you know, black. They could be black. And they could speak Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? They are black people that speak Spanish in this world.
Also was like a grandfather to you that told you don't go to the media until it's absolutely necessary. Timing is everything, etc., etc. I'm looking at authorities coming out and saying,
I don't think they should be at all if they had to our fullest ability. And we are open to any information, any help that we can get. And we will find the truth, God willing. I think that's what I would have said if I said anything at all. Maybe they did suspect drowning at the beginning, but they should have kept the pie hole shut. because we don't know that it was drowning. Now, the fact that the first inmate took the lungs suggests to me that there may have been water in the lungs. That doesn't mean foul play was not involved. How do I know he wasn't hit on the head and thrown over the side? Do I think that's what happened?
We just watched that. Remember, I just posed that question with the video that we just watched. Where the guy knocked the guy out and threw him in the river. And he drowned. If there was no video proof of him knocking him out, you're more than likely that death would have been ruled as drowning. So you can't just say just because it was water in his lungs. And yo, you gotta mention he was fully clothed. Yo. He was fully clothed. I don't think you go swimming fully clothed. So how the fuck did he get in the water? For him to drown. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do know when Nolan Wells is found, he had all his clothes on. Is people aware of that? Yeah, Scotty is a borderline racist, man.
I don't think anything one way or the other until I have the facts. His friends could be completely innocent, or they may know more than they're telling. We have to find that out.
And the only way
the people that found him said it. The people that found him said he was fully clothed. They said on Nancy Grace's channel. She might play it. I'll play it after this.
to do it is by applying pressure, and in my estimation, the authorities being a bit presumptuous and ahead of the curve and saying they suspect drowning and articulating that, it's almost like their wish was to aim you in a different direction, and the direction towards innocent for these boys, because why would authorities come out so quickly and just say such a thing? That's just my thinking. But I'll ask you this as well. Your thoughts real quickly about the independent autopsy compared to the original autopsy. Your thoughts about that?
Oh, I've got plenty of thoughts, Stephen Smith. Plenty of thoughts.
But see, he's not good at this. He asking her a lot of dumbass questions. We haven't got the original autopsy. They haven't released it yet. He need to stick to sports.
They both are inconclusive. I don't have the first result, so I don't know. The second one is deemed inconclusive. Why? Because the second examiner does not have the throat or the lungs. So a full investigation, an autopsy cannot be completed, because this is what they've got to do, and I've seen them do it. I told you about the red subcutaneous markings under the occipital bone.
Yes.
All right? Now, how do I know that's not from a blow to the head? Okay, how do I know that's not from an accident? We are being told today Nolan was drinking heavily. Okay. Right. Even somebody drunk can be a homicide victim. Even somebody drunk can be a victim of an accident.
But that's not what they're getting up for. You notice they didn't release this, him being heavily intoxicated, until this audio came out. They're giving this up to be an accidental death. When he was drunk, he hit his head, and at best, these kids did was not contact law enforcement. That's what this raid end up as, y'all.
That means nothing to me. Everybody out there was drinking. So what, I'm going to be angry because the victim was drinking? Again, this is not a personality contest. It's not a moral test about his character. Bottom line, I need more evidence, because that bruising or hemorrhaging or reddening under the occipital,
I think so too, Tyson.
I got to figure out, is it from a blow? Is it from a fall? Is it diffusion? Now, go with me on this. When someone passes away,
okay,
and they're in a specific position, the blood pools. It's called lividity. The blood goes down. Like if I die on my back, my blood will go to the back of my head, my back, my rear end, the back of my legs. You turn me over, it'll go to my front. So, is that pooling of the blood? I got into a full-on argument with a very esteemed medical examiner because he suggested it was pooling of the blood. Then why wasn't it anywhere else? Why wasn't there pooling on his back, on the back of his shoulders, his neck? Why is it just pooling here? So I've got a problem with that theory. Here's a problem with my problem. It's very complicated, Stephen. The neck, if it was injured, is very diffuse with blood. The blood from the jugular and the carotid arteries could diffuse post-mortem and gather there. So what they've got to do is get that tissue, the tissue from Nolan Wells's occipital bone, around it. And they've got to look under a microscope and figure out, is this a result of a bruise? Or is this diffusion of blood? Or something else? See, it's very complicated and very minute. So we need more evidence, is what I'm saying.
I think it's very complicated for the average person out there. I don't think it's that complicated for you. I don't think it's that complicated for a medical examiner if you have his body and you have that, if you look at it and you can see what it is. To me, it just seems some resistance, I don't know from whom, to make sure that that becomes public knowledge. I think that's where I think that's where the challenge lies, not in figuring it out. I think the challenge lies in us getting them to articulate what they figured out, Nancy. That's where I'm at with it.
Now, you're saying what they figured out, because I don't think the second examiner has figured out anything, because he doesn't have the lungs or the throat.
I'm talking about the first examiner. I'm talking about the first examiner.
Okay, yeah. There's one holdout on that I could see justifying the delay, and that's waiting on toxicology. Were drugs involved? Because what if, and I have no evidence of this, what if he had used drugs, fell in the water, and drowned?
But they didn't tell you that, Nancy.
If he did use drugs, he could still be a victim.
But they didn't tell you. I'm saying the average person, they didn't even tell you about, you couldn't say, we're waiting for the toxicology report. I mean, if you could sit up there and say, we suspect drowning, couldn't you have said, we're waiting for the toxicology report? You didn't hear them say that, did you?
Yes, you could. I have not heard that, and you're very correct. To tell us anything. So before I assign wrongdoing to the medical examiner or anyone else, we need more facts. But I find it very disturbing. They all go out, and he's the only one that doesn't make it back. The girl says he left with them.
Yeah,
they say he stayed with the girl.
Narrative,
and there were hundreds of people out on Horn Island. Nobody saw him.
Nobody.
I find that very hard to believe. And think about the last person that left. What, they left him there? I don't believe that.
And he left, and he let them leave, even though his cell phone was on the boat.
His phone.
Okay. His phone, rather. His phone was on the boat or whatever. Which brings me to this question, because there were some questions about these conflicting stories coming out in the case of him staying behind to talk to a girl, a cell phone date, and inconsistencies between Life 360 and Snapchat locations. Talk about that for a quick second before I let you get on out of here, Nancy.
I certainly will. I've consulted with digital forensics experts, and they say that there can be a difference between Snapchat location and Life 360 location and your iPhone, Find My iPhone location.
Yes.
So we have to make these things jive, and we may learn something nefarious or not. Now, we're also being told that there was no cell coverage there. I don't believe that, because the young man out on the boat called Cito, and I could hear him just fine. So there was cell. So the mom was concerned. She didn't see any Snapchat or anything going on during this certain period of time. So we have to, and you can look, Stephen, even if you delete, and you delete it from deleted, and it's not stored in the cloud, can still find out if something was deleted, because it leaves a trail. Everything you do on your phone leaves a trail. Even if it's totally deleted and deleted from the cloud, you still leave a trail of your actions. But just human nature, I know my children, my son is a fisher. He would take his phone with him. He would leave it on the boat if he got into the water, but he would not let a boat leave with his phone. That would not happen. I'm just telling you that.
All of this has just heightened my level of suspicion, to be quite honest with you. And the fact that you've said all the things that you said here in this interview, Nancy, has made me even more suspicious than I was before I started the interview, because I didn't know a lot of the details. Enough to provide. Hopefully we'll reach a resolution with this case much, much sooner than later. I'm concerned.
I'm praying it was an accident.
I'm praying.
All right, now let's go to... This guy's a fucking cornball. Let me show y'all the clown I'm talking about. Officer fucking Tatum. Listen to this guy, man. Anybody that's following him, you're being misled. Seriously. Seriously. Because he's a bozo.
All right. Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
No, we do not need that.
All right.
No, we do not need that.
Why is the smartest and most brilliant amongst us putting out garbage like this? I listen to it. Y'all listen to it. Ain't nobody talking about did you kill him and all this other stuff. Before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Synergy. If you're tired,
just got his hair
spike you up, make you
cut to everything. Look at this shit. Look at this nigga. Shape up line. look like an S. Like shape up line fucked up. You need to take some more off the top. You know what I mean? Ragged up shorty, what it is. You need to take some more off the top, y'all. I don't like this. It looks dirty. Let's check them out, y'all. Let's zoom in on it so y'all get a good look. Look at that shit. Look, they didn't blend his sides right. You know what I mean? He could have. You're getting way too much money, yo, to be doing this. And his sideburns don't connect. Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like nothing about him. Nope, and he got big ears too.
Also, looking into it myself, is that the conversation that they said had couldn't have happened. And it doesn't make sense that it had happened because obviously Nolan was not on a boat during this situation. And if he was on a boat during this situation and there was an altercation that happened, everybody and their mama would have seen it because they're right there at Horn Island with 100 boats and thousands of people right there. But because people have a vested interest and confirmation bias,
playing both sides.
that no matter if Jesus Christ of Nazareth came out of the sky and said, these boys had nothing to do with Nolan's death, people will reject Christ Jesus and stop believing in him.
So he's a problem. Yo, because we're not delusional like that. Like, he paints black people to his white audience as being delusional. That's why he's a danger. And he really need the shit slapped out of him. You know, on GTA. Ain't that what they say? On GTA, he need the shit slapped out of him. Nobody, we not unreasonable or delusional. There's issues with this case, brother. You feel me? A blind man can see it just by listening to listening to the statements being made and the contradictions.
Because they're invested in believing these kids must have done it something. Now, I'm not saying that they did or didn't. I'm saying the evidence is showing that they were nowhere near Nolan.
See, look, that's what he do to protect himself. I ain't saying to protect himself just in case he gets proven to be what's the word I want to use? Uncredible.
His life was taken. Whether it's a drowning or whether somebody killed him, these kids were not there. How about we focused on other leads so we can figure out what happened? Because somebody may have been involved in it.
For money.
And we're looking in the wrong direction. More than likely, nobody was involved in it, but we shall see. All right, let's get to the TMZ debunking the audio that was put out and people doing enhancements. We got a whole segment here. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to go methodically through each individual step. We're going to play TMZ's thing. We're going to play the enhanced audio. We're going to play the woman who enhanced the audio. And then we're going to listen to the full audio. Us. And I promise you that some of the things that said on there, you got to wonder, the people that's highlighting certain moments, why did they put the rest of it in there? Why did they copy and paste these segments? You will find out.